As a profit-making industry, they're built to support community. So we're supporting local credit unions. For example, local Philadelphia Federal Credit Union, many of you may know, has been a credit union that was established in my neighborhood because the banks redlined my neighborhood. They refused to give money to people in that neighborhood.
But we are sick and tired of the lies that we got told during the process.
I'm with this group, the Earthquaker Action Team, and we've been having a campaign for the past 2 years, to get PNC to change their environmental policy around mountaintop removal coal mining. Anybody know what mountaintop removal is? Yeah, well, guess what? It's blowing the tops off of mountains, putting them into the valleys, poisoning the streams, and thereby poisoning communities. This is a jobs killer. It does not create jobs, it poisons communities, and it poisons our environment. So we've asked PNC, which, by the way, calls itself the greenest bank in the business. Right. So we've decided to call PNC on notice. If you don't serve your customers and the community,
Tanking America!
Bank of America!
Tanking America!
Bank of America!
Tanking America! That is why we're breaking up bank abuses!
That is why we're breaking up!
We got sold out! Banks got bailed out!
We got sold out!
Banks got bailed out!
We got sold out!
We got sold out! Banks got bailed out!
You're the largest financer of mountaintop removal coal mining in America. And it's just not okay anymore. So it's time for me to say goodbye. Oh, and by the way, that bailout you got from the government and used that money to acquire a smaller bank, ew, it makes you kind of skeevy. So it's time to say goodbye. So we brought our letters to say either I've already done it or I'm about to. Wipe your tears, take real leadership.
Well, they continue to seem like a small local bank. They started small. They started in Pennsylvania.
Shame! 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 Shame!
Shame! Shame! America isn't even here for us to say goodbye.
Tell me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Tell me what democracy looks like!
This is what
Relationship. It's time to get over it. So Santa's gonna say,
Taking America! Bank of America! Taking America! Banks got bailed out!
We got sold out!
Banks got bailed out!
We got
So, if anybody else has a story about Wells Fargo, we would love to hear your story.
My name's Jim Steigerwald. I was a naval officer for many years. I am down here in Philadelphia today because I did not fight for corporatocracy. I fought for the USA. I did not fight so corporations could be people. Okay? I think that we are all, you know, I think we're all created equal, and it's a wonderful thing. But when you put incorporated on the name of something, it just doesn't work.
name is C.T. Butler. I am the author of several books on consensus. I'm also one of the founders of Food Not Bombs 30 years ago. And I'm here at Occupy Philadelphia teaching consensus decision making. Okay, consensus decision making is a model of making decisions in groups. It's analogous to voting, although voting is majority rule, so the majority gets to have their say, which happens to create winners and losers, or a minority. Consensus is also a decision-making process that's done in groups. It involves everybody, it allows all voices to be heard, and you don't make any decision until at least some buy-in, some acceptance by everybody in the group. That doesn't mean they have to agree with it in 100%, but they have to be willing to say, I can live with it, I can survive, and I can be in this group and have this decision go through. But what's more important is that through the process of deliberation and talking, without competing, without trying to win, without trying to sell your idea, you learn the skills of listening to other people deeply, so you take in what their concerns are, and the whole group works at resolving the various differences and the various concerns, so that you really feel supported, and it creates a safe space for all voices to be heard. So that's the important difference between consensus and voting, is that in voting, the goal is to win. And sometimes it works, and we see this every day in society, that you can just be negative towards the opponents, attack their character, undermine their ideas, basically just put them down, and if you're successful, you can still win the vote by doing that. That would never happen in consensus because the whole group cares about everybody and embraces not only the concerns, but how to solve those concerns. So you have many minds thinking cooperatively to solve the collective problems. One of the things I like to say is that ideas don't care who has them. A good idea is a good idea because it works for the situation, and it gets adopted when many people recognize it works for the situation. And it's not an issue of who came up with it or how it gets molded or shaped as it becomes the best idea for the group. So that's another way of saying the difference is not deciding who wins by popularity, but what is the best for the group. So that's the real difference between consensus and voting.